Dr. Chef Robert Dell'Amore, presenting from our new studios here on the island. I hope you like my new digs here. I've got my table set up for us tonight. A big shout out to my friend Alex Blend at Middle Country, and again to all my peeps that are coming to this class, thank you. I've got an amazing program for you because this is a game changer. The air fry is gonna change your world as it has done as it has done to me. Okay, so I'm here presenting with Power Food Productions Air Fryer 101, Air Fryer Basics. But this is so much more than a basic air fryer program. This is the healthiest, most amazingly delicious from scratch way to use the air fryer, because anybody can purchase tater tots and frozen fries and literally pop them in this thing, and 8 to 10 minutes later they're done, crispy on the outside, soft and juicy on the inside. Okay, anybody can purchase frozen wings and cook them, steam them, and then air fry them, and then add your favorite sauce and then cook them another 10 minutes. The thing is incredible. What I'm going to do tonight is share with you a couple of recipes that I have tailored for the air fryer, and they're featuring 70% less saturated fat, 80% less sodium. I think you're going to agree these are great recipes and super healthy, but really, really delicious. Okay, so Alex and I put together this program a couple months ago. I've been doing research on the air fryers and chose this one here that I have, my Power XL. And this is a great model. I did a lot of research. I only look at products that have at least 1,000, 2,000 reviews. This one had many more than that, and 80% favorable. Okay, so the air fryer is this Power XL, it's called. So you have different manufacturers, Ninja, a bunch of Philips. Okay, you can buy them in either a 2.5 quart, a 4 quart size, a 7 quart, which this is, or a 10 quart, and that's referring to the size of the basket. So this is a 7 quart basket, and I could fit a chicken in here, three pound chicken, no problem. Okay, so I like the bigger size, and I highly recommend a 7 quart size. 4 quart is going to fit easier on your countertop, underneath your shelves, underneath your cabinets. But for my money, this is the way to go. Now, the deal is you cannot stack things on top of one another here. You want to really disperse them so the air circulates around the food equally, and this way you can cook it perfectly every time. Crispy on the outside, soft and juicy on the inside. Okay, what I've also done is gone ahead and purchased a little 7 by 7 inch pan, which I place inside, and hello, this is amazing. Okay, so this is a shout out to my friend Cooking with Doug from North Carolina, who I found on YouTube, who turned me on to this. And this is an amazing idea, because now all I'm doing is wiping this with a paper towel. This is amazing. So I'm going to show you 3 recipes that I'm using this every single time. In fact, this just gets hit with a paper towel. Okay, so really easy peasy. Okay. Now, the other thing about the air fryer is the speed at which it cooks. Okay, let's go back to basics. I'm sorry, I gotta go back. I'm a little nervous and running ahead of myself. The air fryer cooks with hot air. Okay, and the technology allows it to bring up the heat very fast, and then it cools down equally fast. So it's really high-tech stuff, and I'm talking about cooking chicken thighs in 8 to 10 minutes. It's insane. A white breast meat sliced in strips, 5 minutes in this amazing machine. Okay. Now you see where I have it. I have it near my window here, so the steam that comes out the back comes out here, and I just like the spot. You know, I need to set up this tabletop, and this works perfect for me. I'm going to keep it here because the steam, because this also steams. You can also put water in this top element here, and you can steam the food first and then air fry it. They call that a combo. It's amazing. Okay, just cooking really fast. So do your research on YouTube. Google air fryers. You'll see tons of recipes. Tater tots, French fries, wings, okay, ribs. I'm going to show you a couple of cool ways of preparing the food for the air fryer without a buttermilk and flour dip. Okay, so we're not going to coat it with the buttermilk, which is tons of saturated fat. It will offer a nice crunchy, crispy coating, but I'm going to show you an easier way, much less cleanup and much healthier. First thing we're going to do is we're going to start with some eggs, okay? And for all of these, I'm using 2 eggs. I like that amount of egg to use as a wash for our vegetables and our chicken. Start with 2 eggs, give it a good whisk. Okay, we're going to do cauliflower. I'm telling you, this is going to rock your world. You never had cauliflower like this. Now, I've been roasting cauliflower in the oven for 20 years. You have to make sure you shake the pan and flip them, and always have to flip them in the oven. With this, I don't have to touch it. It's incredible how easy this thing is. Now, traditionally, they recommend halfway through the cooking, you flip the pieces. I found I don't have to do it. With this little pan, the cauliflower, sweet potatoes, even the chicken that I cooked, I didn't have to touch it. So what we're going to do is we're going to get started with our cauliflower. I want to show you what I did here. I made florets here. They're rather large. I like to make them smaller. I think the small ones just taste so great. On the fork, it's the perfect bite size. Okay. But what I want to show you is when we have a cauliflower floret like this, instead of having it in a full floret like that, what I like to do is slice through the stem and produce 3 pieces instead of 2. And everybody see I've got 2 flat edges here. So these are going to go down on my pan. What about this cool slice here? Look at this. This is going to be perfect. More surface area for the Maillard reaction to occur and for it to brown. Again, instead of cutting this in half, I'm going to cut this in thirds. So I've always got at least 1 flat edge. And then this bonus one has 2, and that's going to be the leg. You see, even this one, I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to turn it face down. Now watch how easy this is. I'm going to take this out and get that rid. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to egg the cauliflower. So you can do this with broccoli. You can do this with sweet potatoes, as I'm going to show you in just a minute. By the way, these are cooked versions of everything that I prepared. My cauliflower, my amazing sweet potatoes. You know what? Do you know that this place smelled like a candy store when these sweet potatoes were cooking? No joke. It's incredible. And these are crunchy on the outside and soft and hot on the inside. And these are my thighs that I prepared. Wait until you see how easy these are. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, so these go right in my egg wash. And we're going to take a spoon here. We're just going to sweep this around here. Now, all the recipes that I'm preparing tonight are going to be available to everyone via email from the library tomorrow morning. Okay? Please look for your emails and you'll have all of the ingredients for all of these recipes. Okay? I'm going to take my egg wash. To this, I'm going to add some oregano. Now, these are dry spices I'm adding, not to my breadcrumbs, but to the eggs. So this goes right to the cauliflower. Okay, I'm also going to add some cumin, some dried cumin, which I just love. I use cumin and turmeric in so many dishes. Fresh cracked black pepper. Okay. And some garlic salt or some garlic powder versus minced garlic. Okay, that's it. So this is imbuing a lot of flavor in the egg wash right on the cauliflower itself. Then we're going to coat these with breaded Italian breadcrumbs. So this is really going to be great. If you wanted to add some cheese to this, we could, but let me tell you, this does not need any cheese. Trust me. Okay, so this is an amazing assortment of spices, the cumin seed. You could also add coriander. I love to do that as well. That combination is wonderful, the coriander and the cumin seed. Okay, then these are going to be placed right in my breadcrumbs. And this is about the perfect amount for this basket. Okay, you can't do big. I found for it to come out really good, you can't overload this tray. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare this tray in just a second with a little spray. But first, I want to share with you a really cool trick. Watch how fast I can bread these this cauliflower. Okay, in less than 30 seconds, this is done. Okay, these cauliflower are covered on the top and the bottom just by shaking in a plastic high wall container. Your breadcrumbs are just enough to cover the bottom of the container, not halfway, not a third, it's too much. Just enough to cover the bottom. If you need to add a little to the top, you can. This is ready to rock. So I'm going to take my olive oil spray, and if you don't have olive oil, a spray bottle, you can a bottle like this, you can buy a mister and add olive oil to it, and it's a spray for food, for liquid food. So pick one of those up online. They're not easy to find in the stores. A mister, olive oil mister. Okay, here's my sprayed olive oil. That's all the oil I'm going to use for this. Look at this. Okay. Now these are going to go right in like this, and I'm going to cook these in the air fryer while I show you the rest of these ingredients. You're going to see how fast this thing works. Okay. Okay. So I could add more on top of this, but I like to do batches like this. It just comes out perfect, and I don't have to turn it. Watch. Okay. So this is going right in my pan. If you don't use this pan, the food goes right on this grill, right on this rack here. And that's what the intention is, for the food to go there. There's just more of a cleanup, okay? I found that with this very light breading too, you don't have to worry about air circulating on the top, on the bottom, so you can get away with using this pan, okay? When you're doing more thick batter type of things with the buttermilk and the flour, or anything frozen with a batter, you need to take the pan out and just use the rack. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Now we have the ability to set both the time and the temperature. It's preset at 370 degrees for 18 minutes. I like 370, but I'm going to go faster. So I'm going to go, I want it faster, so I'm going to go to 400. And we have this for 18 minutes. We'll start at 18 minutes. Now, this is starting. It's quiet. You're going to see how quiet it is. When you use the steamer, there's quite a bit of steam that comes out. So that's why I like to have it here by the open window, skylight. But when you air fry, there's minimal steam. Okay. There's also minimal odor, and it's in fraction of the time versus the oven. So this cauliflower in a tray in the oven would take easily 25 minutes. Easily 25 minutes at 400. Okay. We're going to do it in less than 18 minutes. You'll see. Okay. So my next vegetable, I'm going to finish with the chicken. My next vegetable I'm going to share with you are my sweet potato fries, okay, which I have here, some sweet potatoes. Now, let me show you how I like to process the sweet potato. By the way, all these little crumbs of cauliflower are delicious. They're going to be egged and breaded. They'll go in the next batch that I do because I love to put those in a salad. Fabulous. Okay, so let me show you what I like to do. When I buy the sweet potato, I like to buy the small and thin ones. Okay, don't buy a big bulbous sweet potato. It's hard to get a knife through. Buy the small, thin ones. Okay. Now I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to give myself a flat edge by slicing off one edge. So now I've got a flat edge, and that's going to be turned upside down. Now it's more stable. I'm going to be able to slice through it once, twice, 3 times. 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch. It doesn't matter as long as they're all cut the same size, either 1/4 inch or 1/8 of an inch. If you like them thicker, like steak fries, go ahead, just make sure they're all the same. It's going to take a little longer to cook. Okay, now I lay them flat again. Okay, this is how I do it every time. And I just take the heel of my hand, palm of my hand, slice through it, and here are my delicious sweet potato fries. Look at these bad boys, okay? So, we could cut them in half if we want, and now they're really nice finger sized. Okay, now these are going to go in my egg mixture, like so. Okay, any other spices I'd like to add, I'll add them to this. You can stretch the egg with a little water, a little milk, even a little cream if you want, whole milk. Okay, but look at this. Hey, you know what? I want to add a little bit more spice to this. Just a little bit more flavor. If you like them spicy, you could add habanero peppers. You could add scorpion peppers that I recently fallen in love with, or some cayenne pepper. Okay, so this is ready to rock. This is going to go in my mix like so. Now, I'm not adding any salt to this, to any of my ingredients, to any of my dishes, even the chicken dish, no salt. There's some salt in my breadcrumbs. And when you cook the chicken perfectly like this, you don't need, and you spice it up with cumin seed, oregano, and black pepper, you don't need salt. Okay? Now, in less than 20 seconds, the plastic is important because it's nice and light. If you have something heavier, you can do it on the tabletop. A nice, light Tupperware top is perfect. And these are breaded, egged and breaded and ready to go. I'm going to take these out here, and these are going to go in my next batch. Okay. You can literally put the food in the air fryer and jump in the shower and come out and the food is done. It's unbelievable. And what I love about it is, again, it gives you a very little heat, very little heat. It's very quiet. It's in a fraction of the time the food is done, and really not a lot of smell. That you can get it the whole place can smell when you're cooking, when you have the oven going for a half an hour, 45 minutes. Okay, so these are my sweet potatoes that are ready to rock here. I have some already egged here that I can bread, and these are the finished product right here. These are from these. Okay. For my last dish that you're going to absolutely love, I have some chicken thighs that I prepared ahead of time. So what I have here are some thighs, deboned thighs, and I've cleaned them. They're cleaned beautifully, and they're going to go right in a bowl. Now you can prepare these. Actually, what I want to do is show you how I cut them. Okay, so this is my deboned thigh here. So I have it splayed like this, nice and flat. And what I like to do is slice them in thirds. I'm going to show you how we do this to make strips of the chicken thigh. So if you cook the chicken thigh like this whole, it will take 3 times longer than if you cut it in thirds. Look at this. I like to slice them across like so, and I get these beautiful strips of the thigh. These can be eaten like this, or you can put these on a skewer, twisting as you go, or you can cut them once they're cooked, and that's what I usually do. Cut them into bite-sized pieces. So cutting across like so, I've got this delicious dark meat chicken. Now, I have cooked both breast meat, white meat, sliced in strips like this, and here came out perfectly. 5 minutes, literally. And I didn't move them, as they recommend. Halfway turning, I don't even bother. Comes out perfect with this tray. This is going to take about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, believe it or not. It's done. Okay, now for this, I'm going to throw this in my bowl, and then I'm going to build flavor. Now we're going to do this by adding some real big flavor enhancement. Number 1 is some minced garlic. Where's my minced garlic? So the minced garlic's going in a marinade that I'm preparing right in my bowl, right in front of you. And again, sharing a little tip that the chicken does not have to marinate overnight. It's not like beef, steak, where the fibers of the beef will really absorb the marinade. This is going to be absorbed in the chicken like this, and it's going to be absolutely delicious. Along with the garlic, I'm going to add some balsamic vinegar. And I have to tell you, I also prepared the chicken in the same way I did the potatoes, sweet potatoes, and the cauliflower with the egg and breading. It came out amazing. Crunchy on the outside and tender on the inside. By the way, before I forget, you can also use this to reheat any food items. Fast, quiet, no heat emitted. It's amazing. So this is the chicken 2 ways. The egg and breaded, and we're doing a marinade here with some balsamic vinegar, garlic. I could add some ginger to this, okay? So some olive oil, balsamic vinegar, garlic. I love the cumin. The dry cumin here is bringing a depth of flavor. It's amazing, okay? Some ginger would be amazing here as well, okay? Little cumin seed here. And I love the dry oregano. And I know people love their palates desire salt, especially with beef, so meat, chicken or beef. So I'm adding a little, this is garlic salt. I'm sorry, granulated garlic. This is going to be mixed together. And guess where this is going? Just like this. This is going right in that pan. It's incredible. That pan is going to cook this chicken so perfectly. It's going to be so tender. Now, this is not frying. When I have no batter, no breadcrumbs here. This is just like I'm roasting it in the oven. And it comes out delicious. The fat that's released from the chicken thigh, guess where that goes? It stays in the pan. So literally I can cook these. The fat is drained from it as it's cooking. That stays in the pan. I'm going to baste the chicken with it afterwards and just keep it moist. And the rest of that basket is clean. It's amazing, that little pan. That pan, 7 by 7 inch pan, costs $1.29 at Walmart. That's again, thanks to my friend Doug, Cooking with Doug from North Carolina. Check him out on YouTube. He's amazing. I love him. Okay, this is ready to go. A little fresh cracked black pepper. Hey, you know what? I don't have time to cook this tonight. I'll cook it tomorrow. It goes in the refrigerator and marinates overnight. Don't forget, you can also use yogurt to marinate your chicken, as they do in Indian cuisine, as they've been doing forever in Indian cuisine. Okay, so this is 10 minutes through here. The other amazing thing with the air fryer is this. You can stop this machine by pulling out this is the way you stop it. You pull it out and you check the food. And if I can show you, oh my God, the smell. So I hope you can see this. Okay. And the handle is heat temperate, okay? But this is all very hot here. So you always need to have a heat stable source to place the pan on. But this is cooking beautifully. I'm going to cook it for a few more minutes here. And you just have to put it back in. And it continues. It remembers where it left off. And the temperature goes right back up. I don't know how they do it. This is the ease and the beauty of this. This machine also, as do all the other air fryers, has presets for specific vegetables, specific dishes, specific meats, ribs. You could cook lasagna, you could cook casseroles in this thing. It's insane. So this is really a big game changer, I believe. I think this is, I think that these recipes, you're really going to love them if you try them. A little bit about the cost, okay? So you can purchase small ones that fit perfectly on the countertop, perfect for 1 or 2 people. A small basket, $40. You can get a 6-quart, a 4.5 quart, or a 6-quart for about $60, $70. For a 7-quart, you're looking at about $90 to $120 for a larger machine like this. And then they have 10-quart machines, which are closer to $150 to $200. What's important to understand is that they do have a non-stick surface, so you do not want to use tongs that do not have silicone. You always want to use a silicone covered tongue to work with anything inside because it's a non-stick surface. Okay, I'm going to answer as many questions as possible. Oh, these are my chicken tenders, chicken thigh tenders here that I egged and breaded. Those will go in with this. No, actually, I'll cook them separately because these are going to release a lot of liquid, and these will be nice and crispy as they came out right here. Okay. We've got about 6 more minutes here on the cauliflower. Waiting to see that where that comes out. Let's see what we got on. Okay. So let's look at the chat. Anybody have any questions? Alex, is anybody anything in the chat?
No questions, but everyone, please feel free. All right, we got one.
Miss Mag Zeman. Yes, a thermometer. We want, of course, a meat thermometer and register 165 on that cooked chicken. You can easily pull out the basket, put a fork to it, look at it, and make sure it's cooked through. Make sure it's not red. With the thigh meat, you don't have to worry about overcooking it. You have to worry about undercooking it. That is the opposite with the white meat, of course. And with the white meat, you want to make sure you don't overcook it. Okay, the material of the pan, it's a steel pan. It's coated with a non-stick coating, but it is a steel pan. Okay, the question, do you put water into the air fryer? The water goes into the container on the top, and that's only used when you're doing a combo steam and air fry, or just using the steamer. Okay, so water does not go in the basket. This cooks with hot air. Okay, Stan is asking if I recommend flavored breadcrumbs. Yes, Stan, you're going to get more flavor that way. If you want to, you could always mix half plain with half seasoned breadcrumbs. Okay, or you can also make your own breadcrumbs. A little pro tip: day-old bagels make the best breadcrumbs. Very light, airy, incredible. So if you have someone that you know that owns a bagel shop, and or you're a great customer of one, ask them for a bag of day-old bagels. Throw them in your air fryer or in your oven, roast them, and then you can break them and put them in a processor and have fresh breadcrumbs. Okay, do all air fryers need to be vented? Ms. Canavo, thank you. Yes, so you need to keep space behind the air fryer if you have it on your countertop, which is where most people are going to use this thing. I found that this spot works for me. If you'll notice on my video here that I have it on a heat stable source, which is my wooden cutting board. You could also use a silicone pad. And I have it at a height that's good for me, so I'm not bending over. Okay, so it needs to be vented in the back, and that's about it. How long would you cook a whole chicken? How do you know if it's done? Okay, so I have not attempted a whole chicken yet, but this came with a booklet of recipes, and one of them is a whole chicken. You could easily cook that in the 7-quart fry basket. I'm not sure the time. I don't want to give you erroneous times, but you can Google, or I'm sorry, go on YouTube and you'll see videos for cooking a whole chicken. It comes out amazing. It comes out amazing. I've seen them. And you're just going to check with the thermometer, okay, in the heart of the thigh meat, the dark meat, and make sure it's registering 165. But that's going to be done in the air fryer, breast side down first, and then you're going to turn it halfway and cook it with the breast facing up. And the videos I've seen look amazing. Okay, so now we have 1 minute left. If you'll look at the air fryer, I don't know if you can see that. It's going to be ready for us. I'm going to check it right now. Mary also asked if I've ever cooked salmon. Mary, I apologize, I have not, but I promise you, you have to look into this pan, and you'll be so thankful that I gave you this tip about this little pan, because the salmon will cook, and any wine or anything that you have inside there that you're cooking it with is going to stay in that pan, and it's going to come out absolutely perfect. Okay. Let's see, any other questions here? Check out YouTube. There's a bunch of videos. If you check out Power XL air fryer videos or recipes, you'll see people giving tutorials on this particular air fryer. If you just put in air fryer recipes, you'll see other different types of. But let's see what's going on here with this, how this looks. So it's going to beep 5 times. When it's done, I can shut it off here or just pull it out. Okay. So I'm going to use my tongs here. Okay. Now, this is hot. It's very hot. But this is absolutely clean. Sometimes I get breadcrumbs on the bottom of it. And the bottom of this, see, this comes out, this is absolutely clean. I have a couple of breadcrumbs there. I'm going to use a paper towel. This really helps a lot, this tray. Okay, this is going to go back in. It's going to finish cooling off by itself. Here are my cauliflower. I'm going to cut into this with this knife here. Oh, so it's crunchy. Oh my God, it's so soft I can't even pick it up. Okay, so let's see if everyone can see this perfectly. And this is cooked perfectly through. It's crunchy on the outside. There's no oil. This is absolutely delicious. This is better than chicken. I'm telling you, it has so much flavor. With cumin powder, your oregano. You could add minced garlic to this, whatever, ginger. I love this recipe. You notice I didn't have to move it. It's cooked perfectly on both sides, browned on both sides. This tray is amazing. And again, the secret is that I'm using a very thin coating here, just egg and breadcrumbs. If you use a thicker buttermilk-based batter with flour, and then add your spices to that, whatever, you're going to need to use the rack alone, not this. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to say good night. I want to say thank you. 55 people at my first presentation of my new digs. Thank you.
Yeah, you gotta love it. Bob, we do have a couple more questions if you don't
Okay,
mind.
hold on. I have to come around the back to read the questions. I'm sorry. Okay.
So
what do you got?
Let's start with, can I substitute aluminum foil instead of a pan?
Yes, I don't like to use the aluminum foil in the oven too much. I just not comfortable with that. So I don't, you could use parchment paper. You could easily use parchment paper.
What about the cauliflower you were using? What is its value? Also, what is the difference between air frying and deep frying?
Okay, so this is a huge difference here. Between the air frying and the deep frying is the amount of oil and calories that you're ingesting. So there's less saturated fat, a fraction of the oil, and that is the biggest difference. You're cooking with hot air versus hot oil. The cauliflower is just so incredible because I love cooking it. I especially love roasting it. Now I'm going to love roasting it in this air fryer. But the point is that you can turn vegetables. What the roasting does is it sweetens it incredibly, as it does with the sweet potatoes, Brussels sprouts. I love roasting. So, and to get more vegetables into the diet like this, maybe with some egg, an egg and an egg wash and some breadcrumbs, more people might like it. My last question here is, can you cook a steak? You absolutely can. Steak, ribs, filet mignon, the works. Again, this came with about 20 pages of recipes in it. I just didn't have a chance to try all of them out yet. I'm sorry. But check it out. You can do all these questions. You can do it. Salmon, steak, ribs. Check it out. Okay, any other questions? If anybody liked this program, can you please give me a comment, give me a like, give me a shout out, let the library know that you like this program. And Alex and I put together a few other programs we have coming up. Yep. So I'll look forward to everyone checking us out. And I think, Alex, we're doing something in November, right?
I believe so. Yep. I think we have at least 2 more on the docket. We got the Greek related program, and then there's
cuisine.
Indian as well. I think.
Yeah, we're going international for the fall. You guys are gonna love it. I'm always about the healthy aspects of cooking with little or no salt. No butter, and I love to feature vegetables. I gotta go. I want to say thank you to everyone for coming. Really wonderful to have 55 people here, but this is middle country. This is what we expect. Thank you so much. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. God bless, and thank you again.